everyone. My name's Miss Tara. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here today.
And my name is Catalina, and today we're starting a brand new series called Joining Jesus.
That's right. And it's really cool because we're talking about all the ways we can join Jesus in what he's already up to. I've brought something that's a clue for what we're learning today.
Those are very large eyes, and this is a clue for us today? Maybe it's about how Jesus sees everything.
That is true. He does see everything, but that's not what we're learning today. I'll give you another hint. Our Bible story is about a man named Philip.
Okay, I know Philip taught people about Jesus, but I think he had normal-sized eyes, not ones that were that big.
That's true. He did have normal-sized eyes. Well, how about we listen to today's story, and that might help us figure out what these eyes are all about.
Sounds great, because I don't have a clue.
As the strength and power of the early church grew, so did hatred against it. Persecution increased in Jerusalem, forcing many of the early believers to flee to surrounding areas. But God in His mercy moved the early disciples out of Jerusalem so they could take the good news of Jesus into the world. One of these special servants of God was named Philip. As he was teaching and preaching in Samaria, an angel spoke to him and said, "Journey south to the region of Gaza by taking the road that goes through Jerusalem." He obeyed the call and began the dangerous journey through the very city he earlier was forced to flee. On the same road towards Gaza, he came upon a chariot belonging to an important dignitary. He was an Ethiopian, in charge of all the treasures of an extremely wealthy kingdom, and he was returning from one of the Jewish feasts in Jerusalem. The Spirit of the living God called to Philip, commanding him to approach the chariot. So Philip ran and caught up to the Ethiopian. As he approached the chariot, he heard the Ethiopian reading from the book of Isaiah, one of the books of the prophets. Philip asked him, "Do you understand what you are reading?" The Ethiopian replied, "How can I? I have no one to help me understand what is written in it." With that, he eagerly invited Philip to come sit with him in the chariot. Not only was the Ethiopian reading from the book of Isaiah, but astonishingly, it was a passage specifically talking about Jesus the Messiah. God had perfectly arranged for Philip to explain this important passage that, years before, had predicted the coming of Jesus. They began reading together. Like a sheep he was led to the slaughter, and like a lamb before its shearer is silent, so he opened not his mouth. In his humiliation, justice was denied him. Who can describe his generation? For his life is taken away from the earth. The Ethiopian asked Philip, "Who is this man who quietly and willingly gave up his life?" Philip began to boldly preach to him the good news, how Jesus was the sacrificial lamb described in the passage, who had offered himself up to be crucified on the cross, and who had been slain for the sins of the world. He explained all about salvation through Jesus, and the Ethiopian believed. As they continued along the road, he came upon some water. Eagerly, the Ethiopian said, "What's to prevent me from being baptized right now?" The Ethiopian walked with Philip down to the water and was baptized. In this act of faith, he was washed clean from sin and became a disciple of Jesus the Messiah. As soon as the Ethiopian came up from the water, Philip was miraculously taken from that place and transported to another town. The beautiful gospel of Jesus continued to spread. The Ethiopian was overjoyed and went home a changed man, and God moved Philip to his next mission in another town. The kingdom of God was expanding, and God's salvation was reaching to the very ends of the world.
I love that Philip was joining Jesus in what he was up to by going up to and talking to the man from Ethiopia. The man was already reading his Bible, but Philip joined Jesus when he helped the man understand what it meant.
Yes, Jesus is always up to something, and he has invited us to join him where he's already at work. All the ways that Jesus loved, served, and taught people in the Bible, he is still at work doing that today. He invites us to be part of that work by joining him. We don't have to figure out how to do the job He gave us to tell the world all on our own. We can do it with Him.
That sounds like quite the adventure. But I have a question. How are we supposed to join Him? I mean, how do we know what Jesus is going to do so that we can do it too? Is there a sign-up list anywhere?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. I'm sure the kids are wondering that too. I happen to have the answer. Each week, as we talk about joining Jesus, we're going to give you something you can do that will help you be part of what Jesus is doing. And these big giant ties that I brought with us help us remember what the first one is.
I didn't really figure out from our story how those are going to help us make sense. So I'm glad you're going to tell me.
I will. These giant eyes remind us to see what Jesus is up to. That's our bottom line for today. Let's all say it together.
See what Jesus is up to.
Jesus is at work all around us. We just need to open our eyes and look for ways that He might be working. I'll give you an example. Maybe you have some friends in your neighborhood that you're always playing with and you always have a great time. But just last week, a new family moved in and you saw the kids riding around on their bikes. They look like they're about your age. This might be Jesus just nudging you about a way that you can join Jesus and see what Jesus is up to. He may have brought that family into your life so that you can make new friends and tell them about Jesus.
Oh, I get it. I have an idea. Maybe sometimes those things we see as interruptions are really just nudges from Jesus trying to get our attention. Like when I just want to read my book on the bus, but the girl in the seat in front of me wants to talk. Jesus might be up to something, and that conversation could be something that girl really needs to encourage her today.
That is a great example, Catalina. Jesus is always up to something, and it's our job to see what Jesus is up to. So this week, let's be checking out ways that we can be joining Jesus. Let's look at those moments and sometimes even interruptions to our regular life as Jesus is inviting us to join Him in what He's doing. Let's remember to see what Jesus is up to. What do these remind us to do? See what Jesus is up to. You got it.
All this talk about joining Jesus reminds me of our Bible verse for this month. Do you remember when we talked about Jesus being the vine and we are the branches? Jesus wants us to be plugged into Him so that we can get our strength from Him. That's another way to say joining Jesus. When we do that, our lives will grow spiritual fruit. That means we'll have purpose in our lives for things Jesus has in mind. And this fruit will show people that we are followers of Jesus. This is what our verse says. When you bear a lot of fruit, it brings glory to my Father. It shows that you are my disciples. John 15:8. Let's say it together.
Yeah, let's.
When you bear a lot of fruit, it brings glory to my Father. It shows that you are my disciples. John 15:8.
That is a great verse. I want to join Jesus so that I can bear a lot of spiritual fruit. I hope you do too.
Absolutely. This week, let's join Jesus. We can do that when we see what Jesus is up to. We will see you next time, friends. Bye.
Bye.
To something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. Through the deepest valley, you go before me, you are here. to something good. Through the darkest night, you are on my side. You were always faithful. Through my fear and doubt, you will lead me out. You were always able. Through the darkest night, you are on my side. You were always faithful. Through my fear and doubt, you will lead me out. I know that you are always up to something good. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. You'll make a way, whatever it takes. There's nothing your love won't endure. I know that you are always up to something good. Looking out, it's a great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. The maker of all the universe is on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me. Who can be against me? He is my strength, he is my friend forever. God is for me. Who can be against me? Yeah, man. God is for me. Looking out, it's a great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. The maker of all the universe is on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me. Who can be against me? He is my strength, he is my friend forever. God is for me. Who can be against me? When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me. Who can be against me? He is my strength, he is my friend forever. God is for me. Who can be against me? God is for me. Who can be against me?
Hey friends, it's Miss Regan, and I want to tell you about 3 announcements today. God cares about everyone around the world, and in the Bible, God asks us to show His love to others. At Children's Ministry, we can show God's love to others through the Loaves and Fishes store. And you all have an opportunity to get Loaves and Fishes dollars today. There are 3 ways that you can collect them. 1, bring a new friend to church with you or invite them to watch online with you. 2, memorize the Bible verse for the month and tell your leader or a grown-up in your home. 3, read the Bible at least 3 times this week. Make sure to share it with a grown-up in your home or your leader. And there's an online form for the grown-up in your home or your leader to fill out every week. And our team will track how many Loaves and Fishes dollars are in your account. Every dollar you could collect could be used to help someone here in Calgary, Canada, or even a different part of the world. You can use the dollars to help others in need because it is always better to give than to receive. Every month, you have a chance to spend your Loaves and Fishes dollars at the online store. And you can find more details about the store and how to spend your dollars on the Center Street Church website under the Children's Ministry page. Our offering project until the end of June will be supporting the Calgary Pregnancy Care Center. The baby bottle you got in your ministry box will be your offering container. So go ahead and put your offering in it right now. And when you fill up your bottle, you are helping the center provide education, connection, and support for many families with new babies. And every bottle counts because everybody counts. Let us check out a few photos of some families and babies they have helped already. I loved seeing all the cute babies on there. I love that when we fill up a bottle with our offering money, it is helping families right here. Thanks for listening, friends. See ya!